is the story of a couple who fell in love. Here is a wonderful tale. He was so young and bold, and she wasn't very old. How could their romance fail? He was a very handsome young soldier. She was a very shy country miss. They met strolling in the moonlight as all lovers do. He gave her a tender glance. It was her very first romance. He had a very gay, charming manner. She didn't mind when he stole a kiss. Just use your imagination what happened, because he was a very handsome young soldier, he was. Romance was in the air and moonlight was everywhere. He whispered, let's stroll a lane. She thought him very grand and tenderly squeezed his hand. They played a love refrain. He was a very handsome young sailor. She was a pretty admiral's child. They met during the manoeuvres at Portsmouth on sea. He gave her a tender glance. It was her Navy Week romance. He knew she was the admiral's daughter. So he was very careful to please. Now he commands a great big flotilla, because he was a very handsome young sailor, he was. He was a very stupid young farmer. She was a very wise city girl. He said, let us stroll a while in the meadow, Miss Jones. They sat beneath a tree. He looked at her so lovingly. She whispered, you're a handsome young farmer. There's no one looking, how about a kiss? But he saw her husband peeping and ran off, because he was a very clever young farmer, he was. We've got a bird in a gilded cage that was left to us by Auntie Mary. We've never bothered about his age. He's a champion singer, our canary. And if things are right or wrong, you'll hear him bursting into song. Swinging in his little cage just overhead, our canary sings a little love song. First thing in the morning till it's time for bed, our canary sings a little love song. Tweet, 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 you hear him there, as mother sings a topsy high up in the air. And when father's snoring in the old armchair, our canary sings a little love song. Our little bird sings a lovely song in his fluffy coat of yellow. And if the radio should go wrong, we can depend on that young fellow. He will chirp through the family squalls and warble when the landlord calls. One night we'd a fire, but we were not afraid, for our canary sang a little love song. Someone shouted, go and fetch the fire brigade, and our canary sang a little love song. One old fireman with his squirt, he came and switched the hose on poor old Auntie Gert. And when father ran out in his little short shirt, our canary sang a little love song. When he hears a soft meow, you may be sure our canary sings a little love song. When our Tom is sitting with a ginger cat next door, our canary sings a little love song. Tweet, 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 you'll hear for miles. The cats all come around and look at him with smiles. When they sing the hallelujah chorus on the tiles, our canary sings a little love song.